everybody. Hi, y'all. Thanks for joining me on my Periscope tonight. Sorry for being a minute late. I'm at my daughter Brittany's house hanging out with her. So I am talking about dating relationships, and I hope you guys have been with me for the past few Periscopes. If not, catch the replay, and I will have all of these downloaded on my website on Fridays. So thanks for joining tonight. If you are single and dating, this is specifically for you. So thank y'all for joining me, and for a lot of my single Periscopers, I know that you do watch the replay, so that's good too. But this is specifically me talking about red flags, because as I have been saying, I want you to choose wisely and treat kindly. And so I'm Trina Titus Lozano, and I'm a counselor and an ordained Christian minister, and I've been talking about healthy dating relationships for 20 years with people, and it really is my favorite topic, because I know that when people really choose wisely and they treat kindly, then their dating relationship leads them into making such great choices for life partners. And people have awesome marriages when they choose the right person, and they have horrible marriages when they choose the wrong person. Thanks, Felipe. So tonight I'm specifically talking about the treat kindly portion. Have you ever known people that have been in dating relationships, and you watch them and you look at them, or even married relationships, but specifically dating, and you're like, why are they still together? They fight all the time. Or you'll look at this sweet girl and you think, why is this sweet girl with this horribly controlling guy that's just simply rude to her and mean to her all the time? Like, I don't get it. Why are they together? Or you'll say, why is this really sweet guy with this horribly controlling, rude woman? Why? Why would they stay together? Well, there's a reason why they stay together, and that's because they don't recognize a sign that it is a very unhealthy relationship. So usually they're afraid of being lonely, and they just really keep thinking that it's them. They believe the abuser, when the abuser tells them, it's not me, it's you. It's not me, it's you. It's not me, it's you. You're the problem. You're the crazy. And the truth is that they probably have narcissistic personality disorder, or at the very least, they lack empathy. And when a person lacks empathy and they lack kindness, they simply are not capable of kindness. That's a red flag, because that is something that is a person that's not going to be easy to live with. This is a person that you don't want to have children with, because their needs will always be above everyone else's. And love at its core is selfless. Love is supposed to be sacrificial. So we are supposed to, all of us, when we're in a loving relationship, whether it's dating and then progressing towards a marriage relationship, or any sort of a relationship that is a love-centered, love-focused relationship, has got to be sacrificial. When a person is self-centered and they always put their needs above everyone else's, that's going to be problematic. And so that should be a red flag in and of itself. So kindness is a big deal. Be sure that the person that you choose to be in a relationship with is sweet and kind and gentle and sacrificial and serving. You know, this is the kind of person that you want to be, and the kind of person that you want to be with. So first of all, choose yourself to be that type of a person, and then you'll be a match with someone else. But oftentimes what happens is a person who is an empath or a very empathetic person, that strength overdone becomes a weakness. And so if you are so kind and so empathetic that you actually are picking up the slack for the person that you're dating that is extremely rude and self-centered and honestly probably cruel to you, if you're taking the blame for every fight, and if you're always really coming out feeling crushed and hurt and wounded, that is your strength overdone becoming a weakness. Because in a dating relationship, if you are not valuing their kindness towards you as much as you are valuing your kindness towards them, that's a problem. So narcissistic personality disorder Okay, someone who has this disorder is going to be very grandiose. They're going to be having they probably think that they're amazing and that they're incredibly awesome and incredibly wonderful, and that they never make mistakes. They're never wrong. They never make mistakes, and they're actually very intolerant for other people who ever make mistakes. It's like they become very intolerant of mistakes, of any error. Or they're also very intolerant of people just having a different viewpoint than they do. So they're completely lacking tolerance, the ability to be cooperative. They're not teachable at all, Felipe. That's right. A narcissist is never teachable. They're always very defensive. They cannot handle criticism. They can't even handle feedback. They won't seek counseling. They won't seek wisdom from anybody else. What they're doing simply is they want to only ever be the teacher, and they want to always be in a place of not only teaching people but putting people down to lift themselves up. And that is the kind of person that you cannot have a close, intimate relationship. It won't ever work. So I hope that you aren't married to a person like that, because if you are, I know that your struggle is real and you are in a lot of pain, because it's very difficult to be in a relationship and being married to someone like that. And it's really awful when you have children with somebody like that, because they're even putting their own needs above the children's needs. And it's terrible. It's really terrible. And the sad thing is somebody who's a narcissist, they also feel very entitled to their power. They feel like they're entitled to be served. They're entitled to have their opinion be the most important opinion. They're entitled to be right all the time. And they've got this constant sense of entitlement. They're entitled to be in control of everyone and everything around them. They're always very arrogant. They're rude and truly abusive. And so these are people that you must avoid. You cannot be in an intimate, close relationship with a narcissist. It can't happen. It doesn't happen. Their behavior automatically is going to push you away. They are very defensive. I already said that. But so controlling that they'll want to actually isolate you. Where does this come from? Insecurity? You know what? It does. It truly comes from a deep root of insecurity. And it truly comes from a deep-rooted fear. Usually a fear of themselves being out of control. They don't want to be afraid of being out of control. They're afraid of being taken advantage of. They're actually, at their core fear, they're actually afraid of being unloved. So they try to force people to love them. Narcissists are very jealous, and they're very envious, and then they're always accusing other people of being jealous and envious of them. So jealousy and envy is a real personality trait of people with narcissistic personality disorder. So if you're dating someone that is very, very jealous and very controlling of your time, they don't want you to have your own opinion. They don't want you to choose things. They have to always be right. This is going to be probably not a good choice for you to marry, because you've got to be with someone that's empathetic and sympathetic and sweet and kind. Now, this isn't just about, we've studied personalities, and if you go back to my disc periscopes, which you can find on my website, you'll learn about personalities. Now, someone who has a very so exposure of their weaknesses keeps them from seeking or receiving help. Exactly, Kathy. They don't want help from anybody else, because then, in fact, they'll even go from counselor to counselor to counselor, or from friend to friend to friend, until they find someone that will agree with them in putting everybody else down. It's awful. And so they're just not teachable at all. And they don't have that ability of the emotional health to get feedback from others. They don't have the ability to honestly self-evaluate and to self-improve, because they won't admit that they need any improvement. And y'all, let's just face it, everybody needs improvement. We need to always be in a place of personal growth. What if your whole family is loved from afar, so hurtful and so painful? I'm not exactly sure what you're asking there. Maybe rephrase that, okay, and I'll try to answer that question. But right now, I'm specifically talking to people who are in this dating process, and you're in the time of choosing. So when you're choosing someone to be with, Don't choose a person that is very controlling. Don't choose a person that lacks empathy, okay? That's not going to be a good choice. Now, they could have a strong personality. They could just be a leader. They could be sort of a perfectionist, and this type of personality is a great person. That's a wonderful thing. That's right. Controlling people are ooh, right, Sade? But so those are wonderful things if they're a very responsible person. But when they're trying to control you, and when they're trying to blame you, and when they have to always be right, and they're unteachable, and they're rude, and they're cruel, but they blame you, like you are making them be rude and cruel by your behavior, and they don't take personal responsibility for their behavior, this is the kind of person that you need to break up with if you're dating with them now, and that you want to run away with. Freedom does win every time, and you always want to stay free by being teachable and by being open and by being open to correction, right? Okay, so a narcissist is going to isolate you where they really pull you away from your friends and family, and they want full control over your life, full control over your schedule, and really they want to manipulate your mind because they're really afraid of losing you. So they want to control you more because of your fear. Anytime you show me a person who's very, very controlling, I'll show you a person who has a very fear-based mentality. What they're afraid of, I don't know. Sometimes I have to look in their life history and really see where their core fears are. But this is not a person full of faith, and it's not a person who can be full of love because they're too afraid. And it's a dangerous person to be in a close relationship with. So let's see if I have anything else I want. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about tonight. Bottom line is I want you guys to put a very high value on yourself. What if the whole family is narcissistic? You have to love from afar, no matter how painful. Perfect. Now I get what you're saying. Maintaining teachability is the key to preventing narcissism. Excellent point. You're right. If your family is controlling, your family is narcissistic, like some people that I work with, this is the case, and usually it does cause divorce because people cannot be intimate with someone who has severe narcissistic personality disorder because they're so abusive. You can't. So they have to protect themselves, and really the only way that you can love them is from afar. So if you're in a relationship with someone and you have no choice, they're your family, mail them a card and tell them that you love them. And honestly, keep praying for them because they need healing, because they need really healing for their mental health, and they need healing for their heart, and they need healing for their greatest fears. So pray for them, but you will not be able to change them. And more than likely, they're not going to change because they don't realize there's a problem. So there's such a mental block there. They don't see there's a problem. It is hard, and I'm so sorry. Loving life for real, girl, you just keep loving life for real. Because to love life for real, you've got to be able to see things clearly. And when we see things clearly, that sets us free to love and to be loved correctly. But it's impossible to love people with this sort of a personality disorder. So what happens is people are very much underestimating the value of kindness. So when you're in a relationship with somebody or you're choosing somebody to date, be sure that you're with someone that is very, very, very kind. So if you are kind, be sure that you're a match with someone else who is also kind. Don't let them abuse your kindness by if they're rude, but you're the kind one in the relationship. No. You both need to be the kind ones in relationship because love is kind. Love is peaceful. Love is gentle. Love is patient. Love is kind. It's part of it. So it's really important that you keep a high value on kindness. So remember, choose wisely and treat kindly, and be sure that you are treated kindly, okay? So that's the dating tip for tonight, and I'm going to continue to talk about this more tomorrow so that you guys can continue to make really smart choices when you're deciding who to date. Kindness and firmness can coexist, right? They can, but it's got to be from a place of love and intimacy. You know how Jesus said that kindness is even what leads to repentance. So anytime there's firmness, it's still done through kindness, and it's still done through love, and I know that you've even seen my parents do that at times where they have to make correction, or they have to make an adjustment, or they have to give somebody feedback that can seem sort of like a rebuke, but they always do it through kindness and love and through empathy and sympathy, and there's grace there, not a hard-handed, rude, cruel, blaming, intolerance, and impatience. Yes, that's the fruits of the Spirit, Jonathan. Not a not a rude, cruel intolerance and impatience for imperfection, which is what narcissists have. You know, they just have this intolerance for anyone who's imperfect or anyone who disagrees with them, and that's not kind. So, but God bless you guys. Thank you so much for Periscoping with me tonight. It's great to be all with you single adults, and I'm so glad that you guys are making these wise choices of who you're going to spend the rest of your life with. There's no rush, you know, because you're not afraid of being alone, because you can be alone but not lonely. In fact, you can really enjoy the gift of singleness like Paul did. There's so much to give when you're single because you have the opportunity. You don't have family responsibilities. But so keep your standards high so that you don't rush the process, because you've got to really take the time to choose wisely. Okay, y'all? So thanks so much for Periscoping with me tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow at noon and 9. God bless you. Bye-bye.